It appears to be hewn from a strange metal. Briefly, small traces of light sparkle across the surface, akin to an unclouded starlit night. The path stops over the center of the device, and that is where you choose to stand. Suddenly and silently, the device begins to move. The bluish hue of the top begins to fade as all light seems to fade from existence. You find yourself drawn to looking upward as the last remaining light dwindles. Suddenly, a flash! You feel swept off your feet as lights and colors of black, blues, and purples come pouring into the room from a singular point above you. Marvelous images of constellations, galaxies, and planets trail over your skin as the room seems to stretch and bend. Lightning shoots above and within these images as everything lights up, and then another flash. You find yourself on board a mighty vessel. The name, Chosen's Gaze, emerges in your mind as you walk to a nearby viewport. You're in space, among stars never named, planets undominated, and stories untold. But amidst all this majesty, there is one jewel that catches your eye. A massive orb-like coliseum in the distance, shrouded in greenery, circled by winged creatures lazily gliding about. Waterfalls of endless trail head off the edge and seemingly disappear among the stars. It is here your ship is headed. It is here where you begin to hear the footsteps of many moving about, the rising cheers and boasts of others. Welcome! A voice can be heard rising in your mind. Many questions you may have, many doubts may slow your step. But here, all are equal. Join your voice with others, raise them in a mighty chorus, and write your own story of triumph. Welcome to the Infinite Causeway. Hello, everyone. How are you? It's been a minute. Welcome back to the Infinite Causeway with your boy Vagabond 5. I bet you're wondering why we're meeting here outside the ship instead of inside. I will show you all, but it's not 100% done just yet. It's not. Everything isn't exactly where I need it to be, but my goal was to get everything set up enough to do this, to go live on Tuesday. Most of the room, I would say somewhere between like 80 to 85% of the room's reformatting is complete. All the tech stuff is more or less where I want it to go. All the physical stuff of furniture, whether it be like shelving and stuff like that, is ready to go. Some of it even worked out better than I could have hoped, as far as placing certain objects in certain places or things fitting perfectly to where like there's one set of shelves and everything that I wanted to have set up, and I wasn't sure if I spaced them out appropriately, if there would still be room, because it was going to be going by a door, and everything ended up just like sliding in perfectly. So just, that was a lot of stress gone, because it was definitely something where it was, you know, like you get it in your head, you get like that image excuse me, you get that image and you really want to capture it as perfectly as possible, even though you try and tell yourself like, okay, there's gonna be some snags, and you keep pushing, but you're still like a little bummed afterwards. But yeah, so that'll come later, of showing you all. Who knows, maybe I'll end up working on this a little bit while hanging out here with you all. But yeah, I hope y'all had a good week. Hope y'all had a good weekend. I had a good weekend, very relaxing, very fun. The streamer event was fantastic. It was so cool to get to see other streamers from all around Georgia and stuff like that, and just see how they run their events and stuff like that. It was very well done. It was a lot of fun. If I were to be honest, it was a little overwhelming, as far as like, I was like, oh, I'm rusty at this social thing, because being inside much, or any mixture of having jobs that kind of prevented you from having a social life, whether it was truck driving, or just like, you know, graveyard shift, or just long extended warehouse hours, and then on top of that, then just, you know, being down and out for a good like year and a half from COVID, and then the recovery continuing on after that. So it was definitely like there it was really cool. There were a few streamers there, of streamers that I follow, that I really wanted to make sure to say, like, you know, hello to. It was kind of cool in like a weird way, not a bad weird way, because it was like, you know, I stream too, like I'm a streamer, but I was also kind of like fanboying, because it was so cool. Like I watch you, like you are not on another screen now. It's so cool to be like, hey, you know, I like what you do. You make really good content. Like your streams are fun, and just kind of like a mixture of, you know, like thank you, or you inspired me, and stuff like that. Hopefully I didn't come off too goofy. But it was just like it was all good energy, is what I'll say, and stuff like that. Like I tried to fanboy professionally. Well, yeah, food was good, drinks were good. Can you say that? Yeah, you can talk about drinks on Twitch. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then Sunday, slept in for a little bit, and then did a little bit of shopping and stuff. Our big shopping is gonna happen this weekend, to get ready, kind of like putting together a cool little checklist of stuff that we want to have. I don't know why I get hiccups. when I'm streaming. A cool little checklist of things that we want to have everywhere from like necessities to snack stuff, so we're not spending like too much money, you know, especially like we're also saving up for a wedding. So as much as we're both really excited for Dragon Con, we also like don't want to go like too crazy with it, because unfortunately these weddings are really fucking expensive, like annoyingly so. And yeah, so I'm trying to think. Yes, we did all that, and then like I think on like around the afternoon I started working on the room and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Usually after any form of going out and everything, like besides like your spoons being depleted, there's also just like the internal battery. Sometimes like ended up having to rest for a little bit afterwards, and I was feeling pretty good. I was really happy about that revelation, because it's not always the case. What is that? So I started working on this, went for a few hours, took a break because I was trying to be smart, even though normally my thing is like, oh, I want to keep pushing. But it was definitely kind of thing to where it's like, no, I'm making some progress. I don't want to screw myself over, shoot myself in the foot. And then picked up some more yesterday, worked till about like morning till late afternoon. Finally got it to a point to where I could start plugging things in, get the computer back on, let it boot up, make sure everything's working well, putting cameras and kind of like ideas of where I want them to be. Like I said, like the full room view isn't perfect. It works, but it isn't perfect. And then just to have it kind of set up so I don't have I haven't given myself like too much homework and like rushing to get, you know, major stuff done that would make it difficult or prevent me from streaming. And then then took it easy had like a few hours left in the night. Played way too much Baldur's Gate. Definitely fell down the rabbit hole in questing and learning more about the story, because I've been doing, it's been Baldur's, Remnant, Palia, there's one other game I'm forgetting, but like that have all been kind of vying for my time. And now I'm kind of like shifted over to where majority of my gameplay, maybe like 50 to 60%, happens now when I'm streaming. And then now there's, you know, like kind of like the off stream type games that you would play either to relax, or you go and play like your kind of way. Like RPGs definitely are kind of like that for me, you know, to where it's like, okay, you're playing one type of way. Like if you're the kind of person that's fine with, you know, like chat making the decisions, or picking what type of character, picking your class, you know, if you take it slow, if you rush through it because you're trying to like get through the campaign and move on to a different type of game. Like there's all different types of formats of ways that people approach that. But then there's also the my format that I kind of take to where it's like I'm more or less gonna play like how I want to play, you know. So there's exploration and stuff like that, but then there's the like heavy duty, so like even more of like time spent in character creation, or stopping to like read the books and read the lore and things like that. The kind of stuff to where it's like I'm sure there's an audience for that, but don't know if that's what the audience that comes in here wants, or at least wants yet. I don't know. So it's fun for me to be able to have that, but I think it's also nice to have that kind of separation, because At least in my opinion, because then you have like the games that you enjoy in certain ways because you're streaming it, and then you have the games that you enjoy just for yourself, or even if it's the same game, you enjoy playing it like in a different way where it's just you. It's also nicer too, especially because in general, like I'll get, you know, distracted and stuff like that, and there's the feeling kind of that when you're streaming, things are more regimented, so there's like that air of you feel a little guilty when you gotta get up and go to the bathroom, or if your partner needs something and stuff like that, and like, you know, if it happens, it happens, but it's guilt-free when the live button hasn't been pressed. So definitely, like, it was just a good feeling. It's just looking around the room, seeing that I was able to accomplish that. It was definitely like some hella good vibes. I was super relaxed, and then I just looked up and it was like 5:45 a.m. I was like, oh, I don't know if y'all have seen that meme / audio going around of like when you're that game player who, especially if you have work the next day, and you get so into the game, especially for like, you know, releases that you're excited for. It's like release nights and everything, and you're just playing, and then you realize it's so late because the sun has started to come up. If you're in a setting to where like you can see the sun, or you hear birds chirping, and then the audio is just like, oh, I fucked up. Like that was definitely me last night / this morning. But it's all good though. It's so funny. I knocked out though, which I was glad about. I definitely was and am, but not so much now, thankfully, knock on wood. Like, insomnia was another thing that I didn't normally have, but at least insomnia-esque type behavior for my body was another thing that I was struggling with post-COVID. So imagine, you know, all the other COVID stuff, and then on top of that, like, you can't even get a good night's rest, especially when you're at that time working like traditional 9 to 5s, and you're going to bed at like 8-9 p.m. like you're trying to and both have to go to bed at like a specific time to get up so you can be as fully functioning as you possibly can, and then have it where it's like, yeah, but you're also not going to be able to fall asleep till like 1 a.m. It's like, oh, okay, but I still have to get up at 6. It's like, yeah, that's not our problem. What's up, Pompano? Thank you for the hydrate. I don't have my water in here, but I will have some more of my green tea. Cheers to you, Pompano. But yeah, so that's been these last few days. Full transparency, I have no freaking idea what I want to play today. If I were to be 100% honest. Excuse me. Like, we've dabbled into Baldur's. We've played through Remnant and beat it. I'm always really, really excited when I get to beat a game on stream. And we did some Paleo, and it's not like I don't want to like play any of those games. I'm still also trying to figure out where does the identity of Vagabond the streamer and Vagabond the content creator, or Vagabond the gamer and Vagabond the streamer / content creator, I should say. Because I'm all for like replaying games. Like, I'm still enjoying Remnant, but it's just like, do you replay the game after you beat it on stream? Do people like that? You know, so it's still kind of learning stuff like that. Cute Doctor Who shirt. Don't watch Doctor Who because you're not a nerd. Okay, Papano. You watch anime though, right? Spoilers. That makes you a nerd. Yeah, you do. You watch anime. Don't play with me. Out here trying to live a lie. Papano, I will not have it. Not here. Not in the Infinite Causeway. Never seen an anime before. Okay. Let me just roll that beautiful bean footage of you talking in chat, seeing if I had seen the most recent development in One Piece. Don't be shamed, Pompano. Don't be shamed. Pompano's afraid they'll lose their villain card if they admit to watching anime. Wasn't you? No, it was Pompano 05 impersonating you again. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. But yeah, I have no idea what I want to play, y'all. Like, there's a part of me, I don't know what, if anything, could have triggered it, but there's a part of me that wants to go to space, and maybe it's just because I've rediscovered PC mods, like I think I was talking about in the last stream, and I've been looking at Mass Effect mods, and very, very curious about playing Mass Effect again, and also kind of like leading into Starfield, because if we did start Mass Effect, let's pull up the ye old calendar. Where'd it go? It just came up and then it just disappeared. Oh, before I forget, Papano, did you have a good weekend? You've got like a few weeks left before school. I'm sorry to bring that up, but I hope you had a good weekend. That's not what I want. A calendar. The calendar. Huh. So it has it all in there at once. So of like event points coming up next Tuesday. The hell? The calendar just disappeared. Like the app just closed on me. Pompano 5 is the good one trying to stop you. That would make for a good story. Like, you could do the whole numbered Pompanos created by, you could either do like, you know, a separate entity, or do it, or it's like, you know, old Pompano from the future trying to create the perfect Pompano to rule, to take over, and Pompano 5 is the flawed one, because Pompano 5 is trying to do good, and Pompano 6 is evil, and then like they clash, 05 trying to stop 06. Why did I have no idea what's going on. So we are the same person, we share a body. Ah, so you're twins that fused in the womb. But yeah, so today is the 15th. God, y'all, August is flying. There is literally just shy of 2 weeks left before Dragon Con. Like, we got seven streams left. So definitely, for all of you who are wanting to have any choices for the cosplay hunt, make sure you get your votes in, whether it's by channel redemptions, channel point redemptions, follows, subs, gift subs. Get however many votes that you want in, and then make sure you don't miss that 29th stream for the lightning round. Because then that'll be it, the 29th, and then I won't see y'all again until the 6th when we play Starfield. I'm so freaking excited. But yeah, so next Tuesday we'll both be, I don't know if there's any Destiny 2 players out there. I don't know why I get the hiccups. Do y'all make me nervous? Is that what it is? Is that why I'm hiccuping? I'm nervous in front of you all. Next Tuesday is the end of season 21 of Destiny 2 and then moving on to Season 22, obviously. I don't know if it's been named. I don't really follow Destiny 2 news as much anymore. I've really only been thinking a lot lately of jumping in and just running around and doing PvE stuff to max out my season pass. Because I did get the deluxe for Lightfall, but Lightfall more than what's the name of it? Doggone. The expansion, 2 expansions ago on Europa. I literally do not remember. Yo, Pompano, with that redemption, you know you make me nervous. Pfft, I know you be trying to make me blush, and it ain't never gonna happen. Hit me with your choice, Pompano. What you got? Show me what you got. Yellow from Pokemon? Like, you mean Pikachu? Or is there a character that is like titled Yellow? Oh, is that they like that's what you were called in the game? I just thought it was just red just for the OGs. That's interesting. You just taught me something. All right. Wait, so is it not red in blue, or is it red in both? Or is at least in the OG games you're named after the color? Because I thought red was the person that, can't you find them and challenge them in like later Pokemon games? You can like challenge red, because technically red is more accomplished than Ash. Or did red show up in the show? There was something I remember seeing years ago on one of the social medias where there was some interaction you could do. You could challenge red, blue, and green. Okay, so those... So red, yellow, blue, and green are all like the actual, like the default canon characters' names. Yellow you only know from the Pokemon Adventure mangas. I've actually never read any of them. Are they good? Also for Yellow, are they gonna, it's gonna be the same from the games, right? So I'll be looking for a trainer that has a Pikachu following them, or is there anything else that sets them apart? While you tell me that, I'll be right back. I don't know why I'm like stuffy. I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick. Okay, I'm back. It's also a character named Silver. Is there one for gold? Yellow seems to be usually wearing a straw hat and a fishing pole. Okay. Straw hat and fishing pole. Now the interesting is, does it go in the anime column or the TV show column? It's funny because it's like there's a thought that immediately just puts it in as anime because it's from Japan, but it's also interesting because I feel like it's not. It's also a part of that upbringing where, you know, it was just kind of like, you know, it was like the Saturday morning cartoon. While it's like the experience is different, I think is what I'm trying to say. Not saying that it can't be an anime in any way, but you had like the cartoons that were like easier to find, and then the anime that you had to kind of like go out of your way. Like, you know, cartoons are readily available. Nickelodeon, back in like the good era of Disney cartoons. Good also being like when they were abundant. Like Disney fell head first in the whole live action thing. I think when they realized it must also save them money too, instead of paying people. But because there used to be such a slew of cartoons that were actually good, even though it was like clear Disney was trying to make money off of their like IPs as much as possible. Because you had cartoons that were based off of like all of their movies, and they were either like prequels or sequels kind of deals. Like there was a Hercules cartoon show where you got to learn more about Hercules growing up, like when he was younger and dealing with his powers and going to high school and stuff like that. And there'd be like random god and goddess cameos. It was really cool. You had the Timon and Pumbaa show, which I think both alternated between before Simba returned to Pride Rock, spoilers, and afterwards. What else? There's a Little Mermaid show. There was so many. And then you had like off-brand stuff too, because you had Recess, like stuff that wasn't connected to movies or got so popular that they got a movie. Like the Recess movie is classic. You don't think Yellow has been in the anime? Yeah, it's really like the show, it definitely seems like they kind of want to give it its own continuity, and then the games exist separately. Kind of like, I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh does that as well. To where it's like I remember I was hella confused when I got my first Yu-Gi-Oh cards because of the show, and then went and tried to compete against others, and then found out real quick that show Yu-Gi-Oh is not how the game is played. But yeah, like Disney used to have like so many cartoons and stuff like that, and it was like, you know, easy. Like Nickelodeon had a lot, and then I remember when I first discovered Cartoon Network in, I think, like the 6th grade. It just happened to be, it was like the whole process. My family had just moved, and it was the whole thing of like, you know, when you got the chance, you got on the TV and you went through the channels to try to find like where all the good channels were, like where are the cartoons, what channel, because especially depending on like where you are, like the channel numbers aren't always going to be the same. And I think it was either 60 or 62. It also ended up being my first introduction to anime as well, because I ended up getting to like 60 or 62 and Robotech was on. So mecha anime was also like my first anime, and what a genre to get introduced to. But that was like a whole bunch happened at the same time. I got introduced to anime, got introduced to mecha anime, and also got introduced to Cartoon Network, and it was a wrap from there. Also perfect timing too, because Nickelodeon both had their cutoff to where I think it was like 9. It was something like around kids' bedtimes, right? And then it transitioned to All That, which I wasn't allowed to watch, and then Nick News, and then it went into Nick at Night, which usually would be like Roseanne or something like that. But it was like usually All That or Nick at Night. That's when, like, especially if I was like staying over like a friend's house or a cousin's house, I'd be like, all right, it's time for bed, no more cartoons. And this is like all of us didn't know about Cartoon Network. And they found Cartoon Network, which is like it's cartoons. Like, the worst thing that happens is, even when you're supposed to, quote unquote, be asleep, it would go to, because I don't think there was always an Adult Swim, and it's crazy to think about that now. But there's a time when like that wasn't there. But then you had, I don't remember if it was Boomerang first and then Adult Swim, or if it went Adult Swim and then Boomerang. But then they also used to do like Toonami Rising Sun, and it would be like kind of like sillier animes. Like they would have Gundam Wing SD, which was essentially like Chibi Gundam's TV show. But yeah, so, oh god, so many cartoons. But yeah, so Pokemon usually like fell in that, because you didn't really have to go out of your way to find it. While the anime, you had to, like, you know, you had to either catch Toonami for the few hours that it ran, or when anime started to show up on Adult Swim. Like, I'm sure that's where a lot of people, at least in the United States, probably got introduced to shows, if they didn't have access to like a sibling or parents that took them to like Sam Goody or something like that to get the DVDs beforehand, or friends in school to like lend them to them and stuff like that, of like Inuyasha, Big O, Yu Yu Hakusho, stuff like that. Found this on the wiki. What you got for me? Yellow Caballero is one of the many main protagonists for Pokemon Adventures manga. Oh, it's a she. Cool. Yellow, along with Emerald, are the only manga protagonists to not appear in the anime or games, or be based on anime game characters. However, Yellow Straw Hat appears in the episode The Ties That Bind, worn by Ash. Huh. Look at you trying to throw out trivia in your stuff. All right, so I'll put it in. Now I'll be really interested to see, because now with you sharing that information, I'm going to, if I see a yellow, I'm like, oh, this person knows their stuff. Oh no, I appreciate you helping with that info, Papano. I'm just saying, like, coming out the gate with a character that has, you know, like the history to it. So I'm saying, like, it'd be really interesting, because then now, because you were kind enough to share that, if I see someone that's dressed like that, I'll not only be able to identify instead of just being like, oh, they must be somebody from Pokemon. Now I'll, like, not only specifically know who they are, but also be like, oh, they know their Pokemon then. Or like, oh, they read their manga or whatever. And like, they've seen Pokemon Adventures, because this isn't somebody that would just be like, it's not just someone you just come across and be like, oh, this is someone that I'm going to go as. So that'll be really interesting. That'd be really cool if I see that. I'm trying to think, like, you know, there's usually going to be like your boilerplate Pokemon type stuff. Be really curious to see how this all shakes out, especially for fandoms or shows that it's kind of cool to gauge like the popularity or like where the energy is at based off of like how many cosplays that there are. Like the first Dragon Con I went to, like, Critical Role was reaching a fever pitch, so there were a lot of Critical Role cosplays. The only one that I was familiar with was Jester, because I kept seeing Jester everywhere. So there were a lot of different tieflings and stuff like that. And I was also familiar more so with like tieflings because like I've never played D&D. Only played like D&D adjacent type stuff like Neverwinter and stuff like that. So there were certain like races or classes and stuff that I'd be like, oh, okay, I know what that is. And it was kind of like I knew of Critical Role but hadn't watched really any of it. So it was like, oh damn, there's a lot of these tieflings with like giant lollipops. I wonder what's up with that. And then I found out after the fact, you know, you get like your Supernaturals, your Star Trek, your Star Wars, you know, like your big heavy hitter mainstays and stuff like that. DC. Like I'm curious to see if there's gonna be a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia. There's usually a good number of like Attack on Titan type stuff, and they usually do like really cool things in like either in like, you know, one big like Discord or group for these conventions, or like run them through Facebook and whatnot for the separate ones, and then they set up like really cool group photos and stuff like that. And that's where you usually see, if you come across it in social media, where there's like a huge group of them like on the stairs of a convention center or a hotel and stuff like that. So it's really cool that they do stuff like that. You haven't gotten into Critical Role yet? I didn't know you liked D&D and stuff in Pano. It's cool. You definitely have to, like, at least in my opinion, have a plan of attack and how you're gonna go at it, because the episodes can be long, and then also depending on like where you start as well. So there's that component to deal with as well. So it's like, you know, either, you know, you watch a little bit of one episode, then come back to it later. But that, you know, you can also look at it optimistically as you have a lot of content to work through, or you could even watch different campaigns. Like if you want, I think it's Vox Machina is one party group, and then there's another campaign where it's the Mighty Nine, unless that's the same one. This is proof that like I truthful in what I'm saying. It's like I have not really followed much of that stuff, but the idea still stands that, you know, you don't have to watch them in order. You can like kind of like see like which one's story interests you the most, and then come in. And I think there will be like references and stuff like that to some. Oh, there's also the one shots that they do. They're always doing a lot of those, and then you can also like see of other characters and stuff like that. It's always really cool too, because it's like you either have Dimension 20, where, you know, like comedians, actors and actresses and stuff like that, and then Critical Role. I was just saying to my partner the other day, to where it's like, I know that both groups are all successful, but I'm always so curious like what the people in Dimension 20 do. Like are they in shows that I would have missed and stuff like that? Because it's like a lot of the Critical Role people were some to where I didn't know who they were when they started off, for the most part, except for like Matt Mercer, and then the rest is kind of the thing with voice actors, to where you're like, why does that voice sound familiar? And like a lot of them have been in, you know, a lot of stuff. Like one of the guys, I think Liam O'Brien is his name, he does the dub voice for Gara, and that's just one of the things that he's done. Laura Bailey's been in a crap ton of stuff. Matt Mercer's been in a crap ton of stuff. But yeah, and like their approaches are different. Sometimes they do like crossovers where certain players go play on certain tables or DM. Like Brendan's DM'd once for a Critical Role run. Mercer, I think, just got done DMing for something on Dimension 20. You see one of the one shots you loved him in? Oh, nice! Yeah, Fiance is heavy into Dimension 20. Heavy into Dimension 20. She's been hopping around, so I think right now she's working through Crown of Candy, I think it is. But I know she's watched the Ravening War. I don't remember if that was the first one she watched or the second one. But yeah, so she'll like watch like different ones. But it's really cool. Like I like that they have different approaches and stuff, like the little dome that they use, and how they do like the designs, and there's like audio and stuff like that excuse me, like sound effects and everything. It's curious. I wonder if like the schedules don't line up, because I know that like Brennan and Abria and what's her name, Emily Axford, have crossed over and done stuff on the Critical Role table. And Mercer has come over from Critical Role to Dimension 20, but I don't think anybody else has come over, which is interesting. Not trying to start anything. I'm just like, it's like you would have thought they would have come over. I feel like I think Travis and Lou would like click really well. That's right, Lou was also on Critical Role. Yep, I think it was that was the Exandria Unlimited or whatever run, right? Your first was the first season of Fantasy High. That's when I started seeing clips of Dimension 20, was Fantasy High, before I knew what it was. And it was funny because I was definitely one of the group of people that when they saw Brennan, it was like, hey, that's that CEO guy. Oh, he does D&D. And that was part of the things to where it's like sometimes it's just like the face that is all it takes to like get you interested, to be like, oh, well, I want to see, because they're in it, and then you might end up liking it, or at the very least got introduced to it because of a familiar face. Because it's like I haven't really like sat and watched like too many. Sometimes if she's watching it like on the big screen, I'll sit down and I'll watch for a little bit. Like the Dungeons and Drag Queens run was really cool. I saw 2 of those episodes. But overall, I usually either A, do a lot of my watching on PC, or B, I just don't like sit in front of the TV like too much, which is funny because it used to be like there was the family thing. Like you either had dinner and we either watched like some Star Trek or something like that growing up, or we ate and then went and watched. And I don't know, I guess I kind of transitioned out of that, except for like maybe the big releases, like when Marvel TV shows were just first starting, of trying that. I think one part of it too is like not necessarily like lose interest, but maybe like the energy drops if it's like I have to come back every week, because it happens the same thing with like Marvel and Star Wars. Like there's a whole like, oh, just let us just watch it. And I'm 100% sure that it's because it helps, like these big companies do it on purpose, because then they can stretch out for the viewer ratings and the money, as opposed to putting something out and just letting us like devour it in one night or 24 to 48 hours. They're like, no, let's make them come back every week, because then that's like ads. Exandria was the only Critical Role thing you watched. Was it because you Lou and Abria and Brennan? I love those 3 so much. Like if I just of those 3 alone, if I was forced to pick, like if they ever came to a convention that I was gonna be at and I was forced to pick, like I could only meet one of them, it would be so hard. It would be so freaking hard. Like I feel like Lou and I's energy is very much alike. But, you know, Brennan is Brennan, and Abria is just freaking awesome. So it's just like, so it's just like, which one's Misfits and Magic? I don't think I'm familiar with that one. Because I know there's like, there's Fantasy High, there's Crown of Candy, Ravening War, there's one other one that just escaped my brain. But it's so funny because some of those other ones are ones to where it's like, I could rattle off stuff. People be like, oh, you've seen it? Be like, nope. Just way too many TikToks. Too many Dimension 20 TikToks coming across my For You page, which is there really a number? Is too many? I don't think there's too many of that can happen. Oh, the Harry Potter one. Okay. Now that's got me thinking of that Muscle anime with the Harry Potter parody where dude doesn't have any magical abilities, but he's just stupid strong. It's like One Punch, but for the magic world. DM'd by Abria. Which one was the one where they were, it was like foresty themed? Hey, go Cubs. Oh, you've seen Ravening War 2? Yeah, see, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, you mentioned, like, Dimension 20 and Critical Role, people's ears are gonna perk up to be like, what? Did you say Dimension 20? Do you mind if is this chair taken? Faye and Flowers. Okay, yeah, that's another one I've seen clips of where Lou is just freaking hilarious. I think like he and is it Axford or Ashford? I think it's Axford. I think they're cousins. They're like rich snooty cousins. But are they like birds or something like that? And Lou just plays pompous so well, just from the clips I've seen. Axford, okay. That's a badass last name. If I were Murph, I would take that last name. Are they married? Or are they just dating? I think they're married. Murph Axford. Zach is Loki. Zach is a comedic sniper. Like he may not say as much as everybody else for like, you know, like lengthy comedic stuff, but when he does, he like knows right when it's like pew, and he'll like say one line and it'll just look perfect timing, and it's just a bow on it, and it either makes something like outrageously more hilarious or take something and make it hilarious. Like his timing is ridiculous. Zach and see Unsleeping City. That's another one I'm not familiar with. Like one of the Faye and Flowers which always stands out in my head is like Lou getting all grumpy because crap, what was it? It's like they didn't know how to make something. And he's like, it's vinegar! How do you not know this? Like, it's just like, just Lou's energy is just contagious. Dear God, how many campaigns have these people done? Unsleeping City, Faye and Flowers, Mentopolis. It's kind of funny because the first thing that popped into my head is it sounds like listening to JoJo fans talk about the different campaign arcs. I think there's like a YouTube where someone was making fun of that, where it's just like both the names and the arcs in that show are just utterly ridiculous. Lou and Brennan together in Ravening War. Yes, yeah. Ravening War, I would say I've probably seen the most of, not all, but the most of, simply from the amount of clips that kept coming across my social media, and then just kind of sitting down and watching. Because sometimes the lady then will do is she'll put it on before bed, so I'll just be laying there in bed and I'll just sometimes watch if I'm not on my phone or playing a game. So like seeing some of that. Ravening War was also, that was the one that Mercer DM'd, right? Yeah, so I think someone was like, "Hello, can you go check out down there?" There's someone ahead with a really wild voice. Oh man, that's gotta be fun too. When, like, you know, the DMs get to step out of the forever DM for a minute and be at the table. I also have to wonder what that has to be like as well. To, like, if you're DMing, I guess forever DM, it's like, oh god, because like you're playing against somebody who knows all the rules. Dropout TV. Yes, I've heard a lot of good things about Dropout, and that's good, because even though, disclaimer, we don't know any of these celebrities, so it's dangerous to put celebrities on a pedestal. They are just people, and it saves you from the heartache when they make mistakes. It is good when they are on the right side of very easy choices, like paying people respectfully, treating people with respect, like stuff like that. We got rid of Netflix. Yeah, fuck Netflix. And now Disney Plus is about to fuck around and find out too. Now they're talking about cracking down on password sharing. All these companies, man, so freaking greedy. All this stuff too, I feel like, is a sign that just shows to anyone who didn't believe that, like, these companies, they talk, or they look at how each other's performances are doing. Like, their whole existence is numbers, or they have people who are running the numbers. So that's why it's like really important to make a stand as soon as it is possible, because if you let, like, especially like on these big levels, like you let one company get away with it, you can bet the other companies are going to try it. Look at microtransactions. Once Blizzard showed other companies that you could make millions and billions of dollars off of these microtransactions, look at how much microtransactions exploded across the platform. Also, Pompano, did you just steal the cosplay scavenger from Go Cubs? after they asked, it's like, oh, it's on a timer. Yep, because I used it. Boop, and I used it again. Oh, that's evil, Pompano. What you got for me? Put another one on the board. We've got Marvel, video games, TV shows, anime, Doctor Who, childhood cartoons, Disney, Pixar, and fantasy columns created so far. I'm trying to think what's left. We haven't gotten any Star Wars, Star Trek, Supernatural. What are all the other ones? Did I make the list here? Oh wait, no. Should be in this folder. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so we don't have any DC yet, or sci-fi, or Star Trek, or Star Wars, or Supernatural. Granted, there's things outside of that, but to like kind of help people. Let's do a quick Star Wars with Jar Jar. You know what? I don't think I have seen a Jar Jar, or any Gungan for that matter. Barbie Stormtrooper should be added. That one, hold on to that one. That one is a perfect example of like a mix it up choice for the 29th. So I'm gonna have an entirely separate column for that. Like that's another perfect example. Barbie Stormtrooper, a Joker Batman. Now one that isn't would be like, you know, an already like set up one. So if you were like the Batman who laughs, like that's a specific set character. That one is fine. Oh, I'm sure there will be many variations of Barbie at this convention, especially with it being one of the ones right after the movie came out. Like, I'm sure there will be some Barbies. I'm sure there will be some form of like Barbenheimers walking around. What's the ominous piano behind me? This is the exterior outside of Chosen's Gaze. Like just a chill little like talking lobby area, and I also wanted to have, you know, some little uplifting stuff. See how the space is eating my finger right here? So I gotta be careful in 0G. To have these little weekly affirmations. So this week's affirmation is, I have a bright future ahead of me. It is affirmation numero dos. And then I'm gonna try to stay on top of changing these every week. So you remember, don't get down on yourself. You got a bright future ahead of you. Keep pushing. You got this. I believe in you. I got a list. I just gotta work on compiling them. So I have some to share. But you don't what? You better not be about to say you don't have a bright future ahead of you, Pompano. Don't make me get mad at you right now. You ain't about to bash yourself on my stream, young man. Oh, don't make me stretch, Pompano. Don't make me stretch because I'm mad at you. You listen to me. You can change the world, Pompano. And people mistake it because people thinking that it's like it's got to be like the world. But to some other people, you are their world. And you change that daily. So don't you ever sell yourself short. Don't make me jump through whatever you're watching me on. Phone, laptop, computer. If you don't believe me, listen to Tenet. All right? Oh, that would have made a cool background. The original starting thing. Wow, 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 wow. Didn't he die? Technically. Actually going to be making a return. You know what? When is that? There's a Doctor Who anniversary coming up. And he's making an appearance. Yeah, for the 60th anniversary. Oh! It's gonna be three episodes in November. November 2023. Oh man. So I wonder if they're gonna do this and then bring in the new Doctor over the Christmas special. Because I know that's when they brought in Tennant. Did they always do that? Did every Doctor come in on a Christmas special? I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I'm trying to remember when Eccleston came in. No. I don't think it was Christmas special. Because it was the Nestine Consciousness. It was like Sunny Day. I think he like ran into Rose outside the mall. But I know Tennant came in on Christmas. Yeah, he got his hand chopped off in his introductory episode. But since he was still regenerating, he was able to regen it back. And then it was Captain Jack who found the hand. And put it in a jar, and then was using that to find Tennant. Since Jack knew the Doctor, just not Tennant's doctor. And then that's when they had the whole thing to where it was they got lost because Jack was trying to catch up to Tennant, and Tennant was trying to play off, or Ten, however you want to call it, was trying to play off that they weren't trying to avoid Captain Jack. So then Jack jumped on the TARDIS right as it was going to take off, and because of him being a temporal anomaly, it threw off the TARDIS's controls, which caused them to crash land in an unintended location, and that's how Captain Jack got reintroduced, which I think he got like far more time in Tennant's run than Eccleston's, though I'm sure it probably, like, if whatever happened between Eccleston and the BBC hadn't happened, I'd be curious to like how that would have changed the layout of the Doctor Who show storyline. I think I've only seen, this will make it my second anniversary, because there's the 50th, which was good. It was good. It was like a lot of twists and just like very interesting story. And then the 60th in November. It's so crazy. 60-year anniversary of Doctor Who. Jeez. I've seen the 50th. It was good. I liked it. Like, I didn't watch too much of Smith's. Like, I didn't dislike him. I think I talked about this in a previous stream. It was just kind of like, I know there was some part for me where I think it was as they moved away from the campiness, I enjoyed it a little less. Like, you could definitely see the jump in technology that they were using when they moved from Tennant to Smith's run. And then as like Smith's episodes went on, there seemed to be like more like CGI and stuff than practical effects. and then definitely like into Capaldi's, and then it just kind of like, without even fully realizing it, I feel like I was just kind of like, eh. And then it's just kind of like, then it's just like, you know, a sci-fi show, like a lot of other sci-fi shows. It's also one of the few series that's really interesting too. I feel like I've seen like across the board, like you have a lot of people who their introduction and where they stop like is very strongly tied to who they started with. Like it's a lot of like, that's my doctor kind of stuff. Like, and I feel like a lot of people of new gen Doctor Who, like 9 and on, it's split. I feel like it's like mostly split between the camps for the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and then the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. You stopped with the newest old guy, Capaldi, the last Doctor. Well, no, sorry. See, I even forget. We had 14, right? I used to know. It was like one of like my favorite little nerdy things to say, but I forgot how it was. And it's something to do with the fact of like that the number is technically off, because I think it had to do with the War Doctor, because the War Doctor isn't counted in the count, which bumps everybody up by 1. And then you had what happened with Matt Smith at Trenzalore, and technically the number, like technically, like it doesn't really change anything, but like technically the number restarts after Trenzalore. So technically Capaldi is 1, and then oh crap, what's the actress's name? Jodie Whittaker, there we go, who I think is going to be at Dragon Con. So I remember, like, I knew of her because I had started to see her in stuff that was crossing over from BBC here to the States, in stuff of, like, what was it called, like Christchurch or something like that. It was like a detective show that both Tennant and Jodie Whittaker were in. Because I think Tennant was one of the people that recommended, either recommended Jodie, one of the people that recommended Jodie Whittaker for the role, or one of the people that spoke highly, saying that having worked with her felt like she would be a good fit. But yeah, technically after Matt Smith's thing at Trenzalore with, I'm trying not to spoil too much, technically after him, Capaldi is 1, Jodie Whittaker is 2. Technically, even Tennant is 3 in a weird way, and then the new Doctor will be 4. But overall, then they're on Doctor number 15, 16, because it goes. Because technically, because the War Doctor happens before Eccleston. Because there's like 2 short ones. There's the short transformation that happens in the old Doctor Who before Eccleston. I don't remember his name. Because there's a whole lot of like talk and conversation and stuff like that of the Valyard. And like, if we've already seen the Valyard, if the Valyard is something that happens in the future, and that's just kind of like the avenging Doctor. The one that, like, you know, will descend upon enemies in like fury, like the Doctor at their most dangerous. But yeah, so with the War Doctor, it makes Eccleston 10, Tennant 11, Smith 12, Capaldi 13, and then 14 is Jodie Whittaker. 15 will be Tennant again, technically, and then 16 for the new Doctor. But yeah, it'll be nice to see Tennant again, even though it'll be definitely like pulling at the heartstrings. And like, holy crap, for Tennant to get 2 anniversaries back to back, 2 10-year anniversaries. I'm curious what the story will be for why it went backwards to Tennant. Like, if it's going to be something tied to, like, something Tennant has to clean up. Like, is it something tied to the waters of Mars? Even though I think that kind of got tied off. Oh, yeah, my bad, Papano. Did you not know that? Yeah, they revealed that in the trailer, like, last year. But he's just going to be the Doctor for the anniversary run for the 60th. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend you check the trailer out. It's like a nice little teaser trailer. Good feelings of nostalgia. I haven't really been keeping up either. I just happened to hear that there was a trailer for the new anniversary. Because I had seen that the internet was blowing up with people being like, oh my god, the 60th, oh my god, the 60th. All right, go Cubs, I'll be here. Appreciate the lurk. And I went like checked out the short little trailer, and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so it's just gonna be, that's what I was reading earlier. It looks like it's gonna be either a 3-parter or 3 separate episodes in November. I don't think there's a specific date released yet. But yeah, Tennant will be the Doctor for the 60th anniversary, and a companion, since you haven't seen the trailer, I won't say anything else. A certain companion will be making a return as well. So that should be pretty interesting. Papano, did you pick your second? Oh yeah, you said Jar Jar. Okay, so we're up to 4, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're up to 16 right now. That's already a good number. And we still got, what did I say, 7? It's the wrong one. We still got 7 streams left. Jar Jar is the main character by heart. Oh my god. I'm so glad Jar Jar was not a big part of the shows. I was already kind of phasing out at that time because a lot of the, like, Disney was going, was it Disney or was it Lucas at that point? I don't remember. But they were going into, like, you know, the Clone Wars show was really taking off and stuff like that. And around that time was transitioning into college and things like that. So both didn't really have the time, and your priorities shift a little bit, especially like in the first year as you're getting used to like classes, different workload, making friends, forming relationships, yada yada yada. So yeah, that was definitely one to where like I started to kind of lose track of the stuff that was that was going on. But I'm glad that they did not have, like, the droids are bad enough. I hate that they made the droids so much a part of it. Like, Jar Jar and the droids are like two sides of the same coin of jokes that got stretched on way too long. Like, we get it. The droids are dumb. Like, you don't have to have them like that in, or have them like in every episode. Like, when they showed up in, like, for the brief moment when, you know, Qui-Gon tries to like confuse the droid, and it's like wait, hands up, you know, kind of thing. It's like, haha, you know, that kind of thing. I feel like a lot of points of stuff like that in the Phantom Menace was when things like started to shift, and you see it in like larger titles too, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, do y'all just not have funny people? or is it just like y'all take what people find funny in the boardroom and then be like, yes, this is how we will do comedy? Because sometimes it just doesn't come across well. Like the droids is just like way too goofy, and not even like funny goofy. Like to me, the droids were just annoying, and like they ruined a lot of episodes for me. Fun fact, you won what? Better not been one year old. Don't make me feel old. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Jeez. Wow. Yep, I feel ancient now. Also, 2002 was when you said that's when Phantom Menace came out. I don't know why I always thought it was 2005 for some reason. That's 3. What, the third episode 3? I remember that one was crazy too, because it was around that time where you had it was one of those ways where it was like, what a time to be alive as a fan. So you had the prequel movies going on, you had the Lord of the Rings movies going on, and then you had the X-Men movies going on. And then in the middle of all of that were some old fogies getting that bag, because you had Sir Ian McKellen playing both Gandalf in Lord of the Rings and switching freaking warehouses to then change into the Magneto gear for X-Men. And then you had Christopher Lee, I don't know if he's knighted, playing Saruman in Lord of the Rings, then switching warehouses to change into Count Dooku attire. And that's like all of them doing like 3 movies too. So like, and they were not young when this was going on. So it's like, holy crap, the stamina for all of that. None of these were like short in and out type movies. Like, Dooku was there from episode 1 to 3, though admittedly, like, not in the same level, like increasingly more so. Like the most in episode 2, and then very briefly in episode 3. And then you had Gandalf, who was like, you know, big parts of like 1, 2, and 3, especially if you count the extended editions. And then Magneto's like a prime antagonist for most of the movies, like, and they were both like, what, would they have been in like their 60s? So it's still like that's impressive. You weren't even alive when episode 1. Oh. Oh my god. 2002. I think I was a sophomore in high school. That's so wild. Time is so wild. But yeah, that was definitely a time where I was like, what a time to be alive. Because I remember, I think it was like a little trailer for it in the theater. Because I remember it was this scene showing the party, Fellowship of the Ring, traveling over the mountains. And then it had like this floating text where it was like, Fellowship of the Ring in 2000. Did it start in 2001? I'm trying to remember, but it was like 1 year apart. So it was definitely like a thing to like, you were still excited, but it was like, oh my god, we're gonna have to wait a year between each installment. You know, and like, it's crazy too, because back then that was seen as like a lot. Now, freaking, you know, major motion picture theaters are like cranking everything out that quickly. That's one of the things that I like. I would have been fine. I'd like to think a lot of it was just like nerdy excitement on Marvel's side. Like, and I'm in no way being naive that I'm sure Disney execs like push and push and push and push and push. But I'd like to think at the beginning that's why they didn't like slow down. Like, I feel like they could have taken a break after Endgame and then come back. Like, plan all that out. Maybe if you wanted, like, hell, that could have been a good time to come up with a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. type series in the meantime, to just like kind of fill in the gaps of what the world's been like, so that when the shows and movies started, there wouldn't be like a whole lot of holes and questions and stuff like that. But hell, I feel like as successful as it were, y'all could have waited 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before dropping something else. You're Marvel. You'll be fine. You will truly be fine. The mouse got more money than God. The same age as a game, as a GameCube. What's ATSV? What that? Attack on Titan, San Diego Vice. Across the Spider-Verse. I still haven't seen the second one. Like, I'm going through this weird thing to where it's like, I don't know if I'm just full on Marvel stuff, but yeah, I just and I was hella hyped for the first one, but yeah, I still haven't seen the second one. It's a shame there isn't something worked out. I blame it all on Sony because it's just easier, especially with seeing how their behavior is with the whole PlayStation versus Xbox crap, where just to have that accessible, the Spider-Verse things through Disney Plus, because that would just make it so much easier. The second one's good. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I'm sure whatever way there is to watch it, I'll probably check it out.
It's kind of a bummer though, with that like so far it'll probably be like no Miles in the MCU. Like that would have been really cool. But I am glad for the people behind it and their success, and that the first one was so beloved. The first one was so good. I really liked the first one. I've seen it a bunch of times. There was something else I forgot that was tied to that. And my brain was like, distraction, forget everything. What'd you say with your little cousins? Nice that they like it too. Very nice. Good. I'm glad y'all had a fun time. Is the third one going to be the last one? Or at least that's what it's looking like, and because it ends on a cliffhanger or whatever, right? The second one. I've been kind of surprised too. I have not really seen, knock on wood, I'm sure it'll happen, but I haven't really seen many spoilers from that second one. Like there was a brief period, like the week of its release, where people were indirectly spoiling it by just talking about, you know, events in the game. Like, you know, like there's like the trolley spoiling to where it's like, you know, like a good example I use is I remember the second only Harry Potter movie I had seen, which was The Half-Blood Prince, and went with some of my friends back in Chicago when it came out. And right as the movie's getting ready to start, some douchebag on the other side of the theater yelled out, "Snape kills Dumbledore." And it's like, even though I was not invested, like to the point of like, I had never really read any of the books, I hadn't kept up with the movies, like Harry Potter just really wasn't a thing that had like really interested me. I was still interested to like see the movie, and just like, the hell? Who does that? And like some people kind of like laughed it off because like freaking like fan wise, Harry Potter stuff was like a cult, you know, everybody was like consuming everything that came out of that. So I'm sure the majority of people in the theater, people who had read the books. But yeah, so like you got like the trolley spoiling like that, and then you have like the indirect spoiling to where it's like the equivalent when you're in a conversation between two of your friends and they're talking about events like, oh yeah, you remember when like so and so, like when Goku died fighting Raditz and stuff like that, you know, that was like so crazy, stuff like that. Like they're not directly like, you know, like spoiler YouTube thumbnail kind of stuff, but it's like, whoa, what the crap? Like I haven't gotten to that point yet. And like, oh damn, my bad. Like, so there was videos like that, people talking about, yeah, like when, you know, like one crazy thing, it's like, I can't believe Miguel would do blah 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 blah, and it's like I would always just kind of like skip those things, but I feel like it wasn't as much all over. That's been one thing that has like really irked me about social media though, is the rush. It's kind of like how 24/7 news has been for a few years now, to where it's like it's not even about really delivering adequate, appropriate, or like informational news anymore. It's just like, I gotta be the first person to say something in this room. Like you can find clips of, you know, like a police chase or like a live kidnapping being covered, and the reporters will literally just have like a tablet or their phone out at the thing and be like, oh, we're seeing something now from Twitter saying, so it was just like, hold on, y'all supposed to be like the informed reporters of these events, not just pulling, you know, whatever comes first. Like, it's okay to wait and then not say anything until you know for sure. Some guy did that at my high school, and the loudspeakers for Infinity War. Dang. That sucks. Yeah, it really takes away from the experience. Even though everyone should aim to be better, to help make this a better world. Cause like the bar is in hell, right? For like not spoiling non-life threatening things like TV shows and movies. You got people who are just like be toxic and be like, it's just a movie, it's just a TV show, who cares? But it's like, no, it's about human decency. But yeah, like it sucks that there's certain things to where like you literally have to avoid social media for big releases because everybody's in like such a rush to be the first to say something. Like, thankfully, for my partner and I, it just lines up where we're kind of able to dodge that bullet, because if things line up, we both enjoy midnight releases for like big stuff we both enjoy. Excuse me. But for other things, like if we want to see it, but maybe not so much midnight, we actually have that conversation where we're like, okay, it's getting kind of bad. Should we go see this weekend? Because like I'm seeing stuff talking about it, whatever. You know what? That's probably, now I think about it, I wonder if that's also a part of like not being as excited to like go see stuff, because that's kind of exhausting. Where you're like, you shouldn't have to avoid a part of your day to day to not have something ruined for you. Yeah, or have to avoid going to school. Yeah, like it shouldn't have to be like that. Like I said, the bar is in hell. Like, because it shouldn't matter what it is. Movie, TV show, book, or whatever. It takes literally nothing to not be an ass and to ruin something for somebody. I don't care if you're doing it for money or doing it for clout. Just don't. It's so dumb. That's like a thing to where, like, one of the things that I want to do is like two-pronged series I've been thinking about of like my own kind of what if that I've played around with for years. Being someone who likes writing, of sharing my thoughts on, like, for instance, let's say the Civil War movie of the MCU, and essentially being like, this movie missed the mark in these areas. Like, not to be an ass, but being like, you know, like, oh, these things they could have done better. And this is how I would have done it. And like, I outline how I would have done that, and done like, you know, either like little YouTube videos or stuff like that, and then share that, or talking about a movie just simply like if it's something that interests me, but never in the thing to be like where it's got to go out like within 24 hours of when I saw it. Like, it's not needed. And if I did do that, it would be like so covered with like, go away, these are gonna be, that's another one that irks me too, is not everybody, like, they jump right into the spoilers right away, instead of being, at the very least, like, if you're gonna do that, like, damn, like, make sure everybody's gone. Some people just go right into the stuff. You can't read, so you don't care about spoiling books. Well, that's worrying, Papano, seeing as how, like, a lot of the stuff you're going to school for is like, you gotta be real book nerdy, you gotta do lots of reading. What are we gonna play, y'all? What are we gonna play? I do have to share something though, y'all. I found out something very heartbreaking about what was like the #1 person that I wanted to romance in Baldur's Gate, and it's looking like they don't really get a happy ending, and my heart is breaking. So I'm really hoping it's just a thing that like no one has like, we haven't scoured enough yet. No one has fully found it. That's what I'm hoping. So I don't even know, like, I mean, if I had had the time to look up more mods for Mass Effect, we'd probably start that like right now. When in high school, learned about the word irk. We did not stop saying it ever. Everyone said irk all the time. Like IRK. Like in what instance? Let's see. What mods are there for the Legendary Edition? So I feel like it'd probably be best to just do that one because it's supposed to be more stable. Okay, so obviously you got to go with the overall mod manager. Ooh. One probe for all resources. Yes, please. Oh, okay, like, this person's irking me. Okay. So that was all of y'all's favorite word for a while, huh? That's funny. That's funny. Stuff like that is hilarious to me, how little stuff like that can, like, really pick up. This music's kind of creepy. Everyone was saying it for the entire time I was there. This class is irking me. God, I got this homework. It's irking me. Hey, I don't want to talk about that anymore. You're really irking me. Oh, man. It was a wild time, I'm sure. But Pana, had you already told me what you thought of the last track pack? I remember we talked about a track pack in one of the recent streams. I don't remember if it was the last one. Was it the last one that we were talking about? It was when you were talking about the blue shell issue. for Mario Kart. Remember you were talking about the issues with blue shells. Did we also talk about, did you tell me if you had liked the last, because they're only doing one more, right? One more raceway pack for Mario Kart, and then that's it. Unlimited sprint and boost. Okay, so there's one more left. It hasn't come out yet. Skip the mini games mod. I don't want to do that. There's a mod where it allows you to survive. That was always the biggest thing that hurt. God, I'm trying not to get into it. This is like one of the biggest blows was the ending to Mass Effect, and it obviously pisses me off so much. The amount of people, like specifically with Mass Effect, but also in like a lot of other games, that get a bug up their ass like so much about like what other people are getting out of the game. Like in a game like Mass Effect, for all of the entries, you like there was a light framework, but you could get to a different destination in different ways. And one of the ways, like Mass Effect 2, one of the reasons why it was touted so much is like you could literally die. You could do a playthrough if you wanted where your Commander Shepard does not survive. Like that is a beautiful level of gifting player control to the story. Like how many games are like that? To where like you as a player, your hands are that fully on the wheel, where if you wanted to, because it was already a suicide run, so if you really wanted to do a suicide run, you do that. Now, like, I mean, I still hold that it was probably the beginnings of what happened with Mass Effect 3 is also the same stuff that killed the success of Anthem, and why Anthem like isn't like could have been its own like open world enjoyment thing, and like how Destiny was seeing success that like BioWare destroyed for themselves. Because like that doesn't happen in a vacuum. So like I'm sure whatever was going on was affecting Mass Effect and then trickled down to poison the well for Anthem as well. Because the amount of stuff that they were talking about, and I don't really see a lot of people talk about it much. Maybe it was also because it was around the time where like people weren't like uniformly online as much. As like we are now, with access to like such a wide variety of information. Like it was still the kind of thing to where like, you know, you could go pick up your local physical Game Informer to get your news from there. You know, it's still like, you know, print paper kind of news stuff. But like it was, in my opinion, Mass Effect 3 was the No Man's Sky before No Man's Sky Skied. Because like the amount of stuff they were talking about you'd be able to do into the game, it was their own Bethesda moment. The amount of stuff they talk about you could do in the game, the player choice, the worlds we were going to get to see, the people we were going to get to meet. Most of that stuff didn't even happen in the game. So it's like one of those things where it's like, sound familiar? Like Fallout 76, No Man's Sky, you know, like a lot of big stuff. Like entire swaths of the game that didn't make it. Like we were supposed to be able to go to Palaven, the Turian homeworld. All you do is you get to go to the moon, look up, and see, like Garrus points out, like, hey, that one burning spot right there, that's where I'm from. And like that's it. We never go back. You never get to touch down. It's supposed to be do more in like Ilium. The Earth scene was supposed to be longer. So to me, it wasn't just the ending. The ending was just the final straw that broke the camel's back, as it were. Never played a Fallout? Are you being for real right now? I can't tell. I started with 3. I had seen people playing 2 and 1, and I think there was Tactics. I think there was 3 Fallouts before Fallout 3. But I very much loved Fallout 3. Fallout 3, New Vegas, and then kind of after that, it was kind of like, yeah. Like, there's got to be some type of correlation between, like, in my brain, like, when a game is, like, doing too much or, like, offers too much to where I start to, like, tune it out. Because Fallout 4 offered, like, a lot of stuff. Maybe it was just, like, too fancy. Because I never finished Fallout 4. I think that was one of the last games I got on console, too, if I think about it. You're being very for real. Well, I mean, if you like post-apocalyptic games, if you have an Xbox, I definitely recommend. And if you're also, if, you know, you don't turn your nose up at playing, like, games that are clearly older, I definitely recommend picking up Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. You could probably get either or both for like $20. Probably $20 total. I could see them like probably still being like $9.99 or something like that at like a GameStop or something. Hell, actually, I think they're on Game Pass. Do you have Game Pass? You like Last of Us? Everyone that brings the game up to me has a lot of good to say about it. At least the first one. I know a lot of people were not happy with how the second one played. It's on my list of games to try. Did it get brought to Steam? I just clicked the Steam button in my taskbar. Not realizing this entire time I've been looking at my Steam library. Last of Us. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I had seen the first one on there. Oh, they're putting up the Starfield hype builder. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, Division 2 is only $8.99 right now, 70% off on Steam. 75% off Fallout 76. That was another one to where it was just, they messed that up. Like, I don't know if it's mostly greed or just lack of experience, because I feel like how do you mess up one of the biggest things I see so many people ask for, which is like enjoying the Bethesda world with others. Like, they really wouldn't have to change too much of the formula. All they gotta do is just be like, boom, here's a Fallout map, up to 4 players, done. But like, no NPCs, how buggy it was, and you can generally smell it if before the game comes out they already start talking about a store and stuff like that, or you can see it when you get in the game. And you can generally tell too, like Destiny has been having this problem for a while. It's where if you still have bugs, game-breaking bugs, if you still have like hacking problems and you're a company that is making a crap ton of money, but your microtransaction store is never down, your microtransaction store never has issues, you constantly have the time to put stuff in the microtransaction store, your priorities are all wrong. The first one is so good. The first one is so good to the game is so great. You're saying the second. Wait. I don't think I fully understand what you're saying there. The first one is so good. Oh, you're saying like the first one is so good too. The game is so great. Is that what you were saying? Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things. I'm glad PlayStation has had some really good launch exclusive titles. That's one of the ways in which they've really pulled ahead for whatever they're doing in the background of like building on the varied exclusives that they've had and not going like too crazy all in. You know, like they did a crap ton of God of Wars, and then they waited a bit, and then they released God of War, and then there was a little bit, and then God of War Ragnarok. So, and then you had Last of Us, then you've got the Spider-Man titles. Well, PlayStation definitely, they started off back, I want to say like PlayStation 2. They started to really have like some good titles. Like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, even though that one started original PlayStation, same as first Spyro. I'm trying to think of some other ones. Sly Cooper. And those were ones like, if my knowledge serves me correctly, like you could only play PlayStation 4. Or you could only play on the PlayStation for them. It's funny because it was like, I feel like the exclusive stuff wasn't as big of a deal, but I think a part of that was there were just so many games. And then I think as it moved on, for whatever reason, the selection of games and the quality of games started to drop, putting more of a spotlight on the launch exclusives. And so if your launch exclusives aren't doing great, or if you're canceling a lot of them, or shuttering a lot of the studios, like what was happening with Xbox, like, it looks twice as bad. Because now on top of that, it's just like, oh, so you don't have much of a library. Plus, this new unique game that I was looking for just disappeared with a whimper. Like Scalebound, I remember a lot of people being excited for that. That was from one of the earlier Xbox showcases from, I think, the Xbox One. And then it just disappeared. Like, no one was talking about it anymore. It's like, what happened? And I think there's rumors, or there's been a trailer or whatever, that it's supposed to be coming back. That's why, one of the reasons why I believe, like, if Xbox hadn't done Game Pass, I don't know if Xbox would still be as successful right now. Game Pass is one of the smartest things that they could have done. And it's a fantastic service. It offers so much. And then on top of that, adding to the fact that you get access day one to Xbox exclusive titles was both very smart, a good way to build like good customer rapport, as like, you know, to reward, or as I like to put it, like it should be like a thank you, because if it's not worth for our money, companies like that, you know, you don't exist, because we don't need video games to survive. So I think that's the appropriate way to do that. No bells, no whistles. It's just like, you're already paying for the service, so on top of that, here's one of the perks. Like, you don't have to go buy the game. You have Game Pass. If it's a game exclusive to us, when it's day one, people who bought it, it's day one for you as well. I remember being worried when it got first released of just like, okay, how long do these games last in Game Pass? But they last pretty well. And they do a good job of letting you know, at least I feel, when a game's going to get removed from the library. I just wish they would fix their frickin' PC app side. Because it's ass. This is what's gonna happen. Are we gonna end up freaking playing Legendary Edition? Got 62% of the achievements. I always love seeing fan art and how people like really get into it. Like, look at what this franchise meant to people. They do the cosplays, they do themed weddings, they get tattoos. Like, it's just a beautiful thing to see. Let's see. Legendary Edition. Whew, it's 110 gigs. Or I could download that off stream, like after the stream, and we play something else right now. We play something else right now. This is the worst, chat. This is the ooh. Could bet there's some more Horizon. When is the second one coming? This is another one of the reasons why Sony is not on my good side. Like, y'all ain't got no reason. Like, they want to get on Xbox about exclusives. But then, like, y'all been making this your bread and butter to lock people out of your games and stuff for a long time. Yet to be a definitive date for release on PC. No official announcement from the developers. Let me I'll run to the bathroom real quick, make myself some tea. Be back in just a minute. All right, my loves, I have returned. The coming of the dawn. Okay, and I forgot my tea. Doggone it. So I was thinking about while I was doing it. I don't want y'all. Just actually hold on real quick before I say this. I need to figure out when Myth Force comes out, because that was a fun game. Okay, September 12th. So 6 days. 6 days after Starfield. I will probably be a little busy. What's up, Chalky? What's happening? Oh no, I'm just filling people in. I'm probably gonna be getting off here. So sorry, my guy. Because it's like I'm spinning my wheels, and I don't want y'all watching me trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. Like, I am leaning towards Mass Effect, but I don't know how long that download is gonna be. So I'm thinking the alternative option is that, like, I end the stream so I can start on the download, and then that's probably what we'll be playing come Thursday. Is working through some Mass Effect. I think I missed one of the events in the Division. That'll also give me time to look through any mods as well, and then we can do a modded Mass Effect run, because I already played Mass Effect like so much. Now that'll be interesting to be able to do that as well. It'd also be a good test too, like I said in one of the previous streams, it'd be curious to do some modded runs. Maybe I do a little thing to like put down like the mods at the bottom. Like I put it in the title or whatever, because like it'd be interesting. Like there's some interesting mods for Remnant 2 that I want to try. I've already tried some mods in my own save files of Baldur's Gate that are really cool. Like there's already so many freaking options, but I guess that also makes sense too, because I think it's been in early access for a couple years now. But yeah, definitely looking up some mods for Mass Effect, and I feel like that would also kind of help build things up and lead into Starfield. Though a nameless Bethesda character I don't see holding a candle to Commander Shepard, leader of the Alliance Navy. I know Admiral Hackett is like the Admiral, but come on, Commander Shepard's the face of it. Let's be for realios right now. But yes, I think that's what we'll do. Because it's been a minute. And I don't think, like, we started way back earlier on in Mass Effect, and I don't remember how far we got. But I want to finish it. Maybe I'll even push myself through Mass Effect 3 because I love y'all so much. I'm just gonna be heartbroken through the third one, unless I find a mod that allows me to like create a better ending. But so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make sure to put it in the schedule as well. It's already scheduled out until the 29th. So we might end up just doing like Mass Effect streams until the 29th. But then also, of course, don't forget about the cosplay votes. I think I said we're up to 16 now, 16 picks. And then with the lightning round on the 29th, Starfield on the 6th. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, next Tuesday will be the Destiny 2 showcase, which I'm interested in just in general, and share that with you all for the final expansion for Destiny 2 Final Shape. Arguably rumored to be like the last thing before they do a Destiny 3. They keep talking about like the future beyond Destiny 2. To my knowledge, I haven't really like gone too in depth on like what that looks like. Hopefully like a restructuring of the team, a different engine, and like give it some time. I don't even know if it will happen now unless they get like a whole bunch of new dedicated people, because they're already working on Marathon. And Destiny 2 is already kind of like going down as far as like content, like what they're putting in and like staying on top of, because they're like splitting the teams up to work on Marathon and stuff like that. But yeah, so Mass Effect. Ooh, I also have Cyberpunk. So if you're in the Discord and if you've played Cyberpunk and if you recommend that, hit a brother up in the Discord, either in the Gen chat, it's titled The United, or message me and let me know. So it's gonna be either of those, which like for me Cyberpunk would be like I've not played it at all yet. I have it now. I think I bought it during one of the sales, one of the Steam sales this year. You love Cyberpunk, Chalky? Have you played since like, because I know it was like bug apocalypse when it first launched, so I had held off and definitely didn't want to pay full price. That's another one where I feel like there's mods and stuff like that, but like gameplay and gunplay looked really interesting to me. So when it was like 50-60% off, it was something like that, I was like, I want to get this to at least have it ready. But yeah, so it's gonna be either one of those. I'm torn. What if I just did like a Cyberpunk stream for the Discord family? Yeah, I played it on PS4 release and then a few months ago on PC, and they fixed most of it. That's good to know. Which did you like more, playing it on PS4 or playing it on PC? I feel like that's kind of like a loaded question because everybody's PC isn't the same, and sometimes the ports are ass. But also sometimes to where it's like you definitely feel like you get more out of it, whether it's like frame rate, whether it's access to mods, whether it's like just overall stability. But yeah, PC, because there's loads of added graphics and stuff on PC and it's faster paced. Okay, nice. I'm pretty sure Cyberpunk's also on GeForce now, so be able to play it on a 4080 would be really nice too. But yeah, so either one of those, I'll look into it. Oh, that's right, they did in one of the showcases show the DLC for Cyberpunk. Yeah, so either one of those. I wonder if it's like, see, the thing is, like, I play mature games like off and on. It's always one of those things where I'm not sure where it's like, does Twitch get bent out of shape about stuff? Because I know there's like alcohol and like drug use and stuff like that. I guess now with the new classification, it just marks it as a mature game. Just like how Baldur's Gate is, you can turn off the like nudity, genitals and stuff like that, which is nice. You did the whole thing and didn't get any strikes. Okay. But yeah, I hate having to worry about that stuff. Like, at the very least, it should just be like, boom, my stream is marked as mature. You know what you're getting into if you get in here, and then like that be it. Barring like, you know, problematic stuff or like dark stuff that's like meant to be offensive, and you know, stuff about like really dark stuff like assault and stuff like that. You didn't get any. Yeah, so now I'm have to look into it and see, look at the things for both, because both would kind of fit to like segue in, and then with like 6-7 streams left, that could be a chance to like get a good bit in. How long would you say it took from beginning to end, Chalky? Like 30, 60, more? Are you the type of player to where like you just work through the story from beginning to end, or do you like to stop for side quests and stuff like that? Ooh, okay, good. I like that it has a streamer setting. It's unfortunate that that needs to exist, but I definitely appreciate when developers do that. Like whether it's music, whether it's stuff like nudity, game names, and stuff like that. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that to make sure to flip that on. Yeah, so I'm gonna look at that. So it's gonna be either one of those two. Starting Thursday until I leave for the convention. Say main story about 15 hours. Side story missions you can squeeze. Holy crap, 100? Dang. All right, so either way, I'm gonna need to make sure I've got both of these downloaded. Hello, Steam. Please load so I can see how big you are file-wise. Mass Effect's 110. Cyberpunk is... They already downloaded? It's not telling me the size. Oh, red mod. Cyberpunk 2077 modding tools, modifying creature. Is this like Bethesda stuff where you gotta pay for them? It's got mixed reviews. I'm gonna do some research between now and Thursday, and y'all will know what we go with. by what pops up. But yeah, I'm gonna head out of here. Thank y'all so much for coming by. Gonna rest up some. Like I said, like I'm kind of spinning my wheels here, not knowing what I want to play. And the two things that I do want to play, there's gonna be a wait for the downloads, so I want to make sure those things are. Hello, Piper. Piper. Hi. What you doing? Why are you under my computer desk? This dog, y'all, has a fascination with having to walk over and through my cords, and nothing gives me a stronger heart attack. Like, I'm pretty sure this dog is part cat. I need to bring Ghost of Tsushima. I've heard a lot of good things about that game. Yeah, so gonna head out here. Thursday we'll be starting at the normal time of 4, unless something changes. If I end up getting a burst of energy, maybe we'll do a bonus stream tomorrow. We'll have to see how things go. There's a few things I want to get done around the house, and like just basic chores and things like that. Start myself off, as well as like getting ready. This little dog thing, both of yours do it. I'm always like, stop. Like, go around. Don't go through. It's not a jungle. You watched the Doctor Who trailer? Nice. You could have said, no, I didn't want to spoil it. Like, even if it's not like the person that you would have wanted or liked, I try to avoid spoilers. That's just who I am. I'm not gonna give stuff away. Had to hide your wires. Yeah, I had to in this new reformat, I had to had to, but also like gave me the opportunity to redo some of the cabling. The only thing that could really make this better is if I either bought or DIY'd a tray, and then most of the stuff would be out of the way. But it looks a lot neater. Donna, not crazy companion. So a lot of people like Donna. I don't mind her. I don't have anything against her. I think it would have been cool if we could have seen Martha again, but who knows? Maybe we will get to see. Maybe there'll be some cameos, and it's gonna be mostly just with Donna. Ooh, that's really smart, Chalky. I like that. Door runners. I'm gonna have to look at that. Like, I don't know if you work with carpet or hardwood. I've got carpet. I was thinking about just doing like a simple little tray just coming off the back of the table, big enough to put like the power boxes, like the little mini power boxes that come off the cables from like the monitors. That's the only thing it needs to just have space for, and then laying some of the rest of the cables, because there's really only like four to six maybe. Because this time I try to make a point of like knowing where I wanted everything to be, and then setting it up in a way to where it's like one at a time of like, okay, so this port is where the keyboard's going, so line the keyboard up, set this up, Velcro, whatever, to certain spots so it's all lined up. So it's like I had to slow down the excitement to want to get everything back up and running again. And then like The only other major problem that I don't have, or the pain, not necessarily a problem, is just getting when I have the Elgato capture card, those cables are long. So I have to figure out something with that. For that, use a metal basket, cut the sides off. That's not a bad idea. That's like a nice and simple, like if you really wanted to like change it, you could always change the colors or whatever, but definitely a good one of like placement and everything. Like, it ain't gotta be absurdly pretty, it's just gotta work kind of deal. Now one could probably get like a decent kind even from like a dollar store or something. I appreciate these suggestions, Chalky. I'm definitely going to be because that one I think there might even be like some leftover organizational baskets here in the house that I could probably find and really DIY the F out of. But yeah, basket also gives you bars and gaps to Velcro wires to yeah. I think the only ones that we might have one or two to spare are like the smaller, like not wicker, but it's like the plastic version of like that wicker design, so the holes might not be big enough, but I could maybe like thread it through the handles, or at the very least I would have like maybe the lip of it sticking out some, so like the cables go in some and then like come off a little bit off of the back. Or I could always like cut a hole to like on the bottom of one side, so it goes in some and then comes down the bottom, but all like in one spot, so it's just completely up and out of the way, and it's only there like in the back of where I have the desktop. You got me thinking. You got me thinking. So now I have additional additional homework. I'm gonna be looking at Cyberpunk, looking at Mass Effect, and now looking at DIY basket. On top of all the other stuff, like I still got to find somewhere for my comics, my strategy guides, the rest of my Funkos, my hats. I've got a little organizational shelf. I got to figure out where Captain Bear and Bear Thor are gonna go. Just so much. Dollar store sells little metal shark heads. Yeah, that was kind of stuff that I was thinking of. You just take the suction cups off, use the suction holes as screw holes. Oh, I like that. Yeah. It'd be really nice. If I really wanted to get freaking fancy too, I could just cut a hole, like where they have like the little plastic pop out for like the outlets, and then just run everything through there. But a tray is just easier because it's like no cutting essentially, and just done. All right, y'all. If I fall in this rabbit hole, I'm gonna head out, and then like I said, I think I'll start working. Well, I'm gonna start the downloads as soon as I end. B, I'm gonna start looking up to see like which one, like watching some like definitive like gameplay. Look up to see if like there's any mod stuff that I want to try. It's gonna be like a fun but like real chill kind of stream. Like definitely gonna be like a lot of exploration and stuff. Like I really want to get the most out of it. Nothing like too game breaking if I do Cyberpunk, because I wanna test out like the experience with like the actual character. If y'all have any mods or things that y'all have heard of for either games, make sure to let me know in the Discord, which I put the socials to. But yeah, then that'll be it. If I get a chance to do a bonus stream tomorrow, I probably will. It'll probably be earlier in the day though, like closer to noon maybe. than in the afternoon. And then if not that, then for sure stream on Thursday. And then we'll really get into it, and then whatever's picked there, that'll be the game from, let's see, what is Thursday, the 17th? Yeah, it'll be the game from the 17th to the 29th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, 6 streams. 6 streams till the convention. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna head out of here. You know what? I think I might have myself some ice cream. Treat myself. I will look forward to seeing you all, if not tomorrow, on Thursday. The most important things, y'all, as always. Hope that each and every one of you will take care. Hope that each and every one of you will be well. And above all else, remember that I will see you all again soon. Everybody out there, have a great rest of the day or night. Whether you're watching this live or if you're coming in to catch the VOD, as always, a special shout out to the lurkers and to the VOD watchers. Thank you so much for the support. It's greatly appreciated. You have a good night as well, Chalky. I'm definitely going to watch some cool stuff. I'm sure by now there is a metric crap ton of videos on Cyberpunk of just like stuff to try, things to avoid. Maybe even like if there's any like major bugs to watch out for and stuff like that. Because I do my deep divings. If I was at a D&D table, I would probably be the note taker. But yeah, and I will see y'all again. Oh, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I already watched that. I loved it. It's amazing. I cried like a baby. It was so good. I didn't cry, but it definitely punched me in the gut. I'll put Edge Runners up there with Devilman Crybaby for like leaving a pit in my stomach at the end of it. I'm just like staring at the screen like, why did I do this to myself? It's 3 a.m. All right, y'all. I will see y'all in the next stream. Please take care of yourselves. Best you can. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And I will see y'all in the next stream. Adios.